What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. Shout out to everyone that's been liking, subscribing, and commenting. You guys freaking rock. Today is Thursday. Thirsty Thursday for some of you, but not too soon. I know the markets aren't that great, but that's not the answer. Now, before we get on, I do want to just point out another scammer. I think this is really important before we move on. This guy, Crypto Zombie, as you can see right here, he has a 0 where the O is for zombie. This is not me, guys. If you ever want to get in contact with me, just go to my official Telegram below. I'm an administrator, and I'll get back to you. You know, any other emails, any comments below that seem weird and asking you for money, definitely not me. Okay, moving on, guys. Wow, so we have a pretty red day today. As you can see, Bitcoin has dipped back below 4,000 yet again. You know what, guys? I feel horrible on days like today. Let's give away another t-shirt. So I actually have a large Crypto Zombies t-shirt right here, and if you would like, just write something about the t-shirt below, and I'll do a raffle tomorrow. So that's a size large, okay? It's the best I could do. Best I could do on today, on a day like today, guys. So as you guys know, I kid you not, I literally went to go upload this video. This is the unfortunate thing about working with such a volatile market. I cannot keep up with this. So we were discussing Bitcoin right around here, right around that $3,775 level. It plummeted instantly as soon as I was going to upload the video, all the way down to 3,500 before springing back to 3,620. So we do have our answer short term. Which way are we going to go, up or down? However, I did cover a lot of topics in this video discussing where we could potentially go moving forward, because let's not forget, guys, I mean, what we're looking at right now is so small, you know, compared to where we've been. So it's definitely worth noting. So I'd like you guys to still watch the video because there's a lot of insights and there are some pretty good predictions as to why we might still go lower, but also what could be the catalyst for that potential breakout. So I hope you guys enjoy it. My apologies. I cannot keep up with this market. It's so unbelievably crazy, but hope you guys enjoy the video. We took quite a hit. Bitcoin dominance skyrocketed 1.1% overnight. Obviously, most people are trying to put their money in the safest place right now. XRP has taken a hit as well. However, you'll notice that Ethereum has actually taken a bigger hit than XRP. So XRP has yet again flipped Ethereum for second place. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing this going on all year, guys. Now, we do have the Ethereum hard fork up and coming, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But having a look at the biggest gainers of the day, Verge. That's surprising. Haven't seen Verge, in the biggest gainers for a while. We have Status, Hypercash, Maximine, Aurora, and then we go into the stable coins. So for the most part, it's obviously just a lot of red today. So having a look at the charts, now you guys understand my reference from earlier. So if you guys don't know the joke in the intro of the Bart Simpson pattern, as you can see right here, a lot of people tend to point out that they literally look like Bart Simpson's, head, where it goes like this and then it takes a steep fall. Now, having a look at today's, chart, obviously ignore these lines for a second. You'll see we did we shot up, we did the hairline, and shot back down. So this is just a classic Bart Simpson pattern. Actually, if you guys don't believe me, you can literally, there's Crypto Trading Academy, what are Barts and how do they affect the market? And you can actually learn how to, predict and try to trade these things should you be so interested. But as you can see right here, I did highlight there were two key lines that we're kind of looking at right here, trying to break through. As you can see, there was, resistance here, 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 and here, all around this $4,060 mark. So that's something to look forward to. And if we can break even higher, somewhere in this channel, up over 4,000, almost 4,100. But currently, we have a long way to go. In fact, zooming out, there was a trend line that Murad Mahoudav, I think I said his name wrong, but he's on Twitter, and he's been predicting this thing pretty damn good. And he pointed out there were several points of contact. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you take this trend line, and if we look at where we are right now, well, it looks like if we don't break out of this right here, then we could potentially just go lower and see lower lows. Now, before we get on, guys, I do want to talk more about the markets. I do want to talk more about price because I know it just, took a hit. Everybody's asking. But I want to give a shout out today to Hal Finney. As you guys can see over here, I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter, it's at the Crypto Zombie, but I just recently retweeted this, running Bitcoin. Now, this is the 10th anniversary of this tweet, and it kind of went under the radar, right, a little bit back in the day, but it's amazing to think of this. Now, if you don't know who Hal Finney is, I'll give you a real quick rundown, okay? So he used to develop for this PGP corporation. He worked on different types of game consoles, etc. Now, the thing that most people remember him for is obviously Bitcoin. So if you see down here, he says, "It seemed so obvious to me. Here we are faced with the problems of loss of privacy, creeping computerization, massive databases, more centralization. The computer can be used as a tool to liberate and protect people rather than to control them." So he was an early Bitcoin user, and he actually received the first ever Bitcoin transaction from Satoshi Nakamoto himself. So that's like his claim to fame, basically. In fact, he's another one that people think is Satoshi Nakamoto. I know they had this the other day with Nick Szabo, right? Which I know I screwed up the letters on that. I spelled it wrong. I meant to put the S before the Z, but anyway. So talking about this, he received the first transaction. He was the second ever user of Bitcoin, pioneer in PGP encryption, computer scientist and cryptographer. He was instrumental in early Bitcoin protocol bug fixes, frequently exchanged emails with Satoshi Nakamoto, actually lived next to a Dorian Satoshi Nakamoto, and obviously he wanted to remain anonymous. He denied it multiple times. So you guys can look into that, okay? But getting back over here, in March 2013, he posted on a Bitcoin forum and said that he was basically paralyzed, but he would continue to program until his death. And this is the actual thing right here. It was pretty sad. He says, "Today I'm essentially paralyzed. I'm fed through a tube and my breathing is assisted through another tube. I operate the computer using a commercial eye tracker system. It has also a speech synthesizer, so this is my voice now. I spend all my day in the wheelchair. However, I realize that I can still write code, although very slow, probably 50 times slower than I was before, but I still love programming and it gives me goals." And this is the part that kind of ties us all in. He says, "And of course, the price gyrations of Bitcoin are entertaining to me. I have skin in the game, but I came by my Bitcoins through luck with little credit to me. I lived through the crash of 2011, so I've seen it before. Easy come, easy go." And getting back to the crash of 2018 and the remnants that are left over, I just wanted to give a shout out, 10 years ago, very important figure in the space, despite the fact that the markets are crashing today, salute you. So, anyway, moving on, talking about what Matty Greenspan had said. Now, he said this yesterday, so this was when Bitcoin was still sitting above 4,000. He says, "Good to see Bitcoin holding above 4,000, but this was never really a significant level to begin with. The current range that we're in is between 3K and 5K, so 4K is really just the halfway mark. Only a strong breakout of that range can give us a new direction." So if we go all the way back, looking at our chart, all the way up to 5K, well, we got to zoom way out for that one because that is all the way back here. Where's 5? No, it's a little lower. Yeah, right around here, which is weird because there's really no significant, resistance or support there. It's just a psychological barrier, right? So anyway, moving on, he stated that if we start heading south again, 3K does represent the support. According to Bloomberg, you had them saying that Bitcoin was on the brink of a big move. Well, I guess they were right. It went down. But anyway, Travis Kling also says it's unlikely that the bottom is in for Bitcoin. He says he's certainly willing to change his mind, but evidence leads to believe that we're going to see lower lows moving forward. Now, the interesting thing is you had this guy now, he is not really a fan of Bitcoin at all. You have Jeffrey Gundlach. He's a big investment banker, and some call him the bond king. And he said that Bitcoin might actually rise 25% in the near future, which would bring it to around $5,000, which is the key level that we're looking at. So the comments are interesting because he's been an extreme critic of cryptos and even called them the poster child for social mood and market mood. So while his stance on cryptocurrency hasn't changed, he does believe that it could go up. Now, he says, "I don't recommend you buy Bitcoin." He says, "But if you want to speculate, I do think you can make an easy 25%. So some are saying that that statement alone is a proof that even though he doesn't believe in the Bitcoin network, he does understand that its market potential is only expected to rise in the near future. Investors are more and more interested in Bitcoin, and the short-term statistics are solid, even with the massive price tank that we had over the course of last year." So some of his other predictions, by the way, if you guys are curious, include one that he made recently where he said that the stock markets would have a massive sell-off in December, and he was one of the first people to call it. So Was it blind luck? Does this guy know what he's talking about? Not sure, but somebody that literally says, do not buy Bitcoin, is agreeing that it's probably going to go up 25%. So interesting. And a lot of us do have our eyes on that year leading up to the halvening event. So really, I'm not really concerned between now and May. I think right around May of this year is when I'm going to start getting a little concerned, right? Because if we're sticking on that same topic, Kunal Sen, he has this chart, logarithmic, obviously, and he was talking about, if we zoom in right here, oops, my bad. If we zoom in right here, you see that there is the cycle. So he's basically calling the halvenings the bottom. So the first halvening would be here, second halvening here, and then the third halvening, which is in May. All right. Now, keep in mind, he had predicted this when Bitcoin was still sitting around 6,600, and we fell 50%. Over 50% from that point. So far, this guy's on track. So the question is, are we looking for a perpetual, unfortunate decline all the way until May? Nobody knows, but if it follows the last times that it did it, then it will probably do it again. And the other thing I wanted to talk about before we get off talking, I know we talk about price, right? But I want to talk about, I have some other stuff too regarding, news with coins and stuff. But we did have Mark Dow, right? Don't forget, he was the trader that started shorting Bitcoin pretty much at the all-time high. This guy, he nailed the market, absolutely nailed it, sold at the all-time high, and he finally pulled back, okay? And he said that he wasn't going to sell anymore, so he wrote it all the way down to 3,500, and he pretty much he didn't call 3,500 the bottom, but he said he was done, okay? But he said that if Bitcoin fails to recover above 6,000 in the short term, that the markets could potentially be in trouble. He says it's still a beautiful chart. If Bitcoin can't bounce to at least 5K to 6K soon, it could be a bad sign for the cyber bulls, and if it breaks through the yellow line, which he had a chart at the time, he said even the hodlers need to get the F out, okay? But that's what he says. But he's essentially just suggesting that the trend in crypto markets hasn't really changed, and that the crypto winter could be still in full effect, okay? So I just want you guys to be very well aware of this, and like I said, he pretty much shorted right here, started the short, and he ended up closing it somewhere right around here, I believe. And as we could see zooming in, there are some key levels that we're looking at right here, and we've talked about this. It could potentially dip down here and go all the way up to here, but we've talked about this before, guys. So moving on, I wanted to talk about one thing super quick as well. We were talking yesterday about central banks potentially looking to replace some of their their gold reserves with Bitcoin. Now, I do have something else to point out moving forward, but there is this problem that people are still so concerned about, which is the unequal distribution of the amount of Bitcoins held by whales and held by the average retail investor. Now, we know that a lot of these whales are actually just exchanges, so you have to know which ones are those and which ones are personal wallets. However, according to National Business Daily, and we did speak about this before, they found that around 0.7% currently hold around 86.9% of Bitcoin in circulating supply. I actually did a video on this a week ago or something like that. But the report used data from Bitcoin.com and concluded that these addresses own roughly $62 billion worth of crypto, and that out of the 22.6 million addresses with Bitcoin in it, 97.2% had less than one Bitcoin. Only 0.7%, however, had over 10 Bitcoin at the time. So this existence of Bitcoin whales is worrisome for investors looking to enter the market, as large buy and sell orders can have a significant impact on the market, but would represent a fraction of their holdings. So let me just break this down to you. They give an example. According to Crypto Compared data, it would only take 2,027 Bitcoin, or roughly $7.8 million, which isn't that much in the grand scheme of things, to send Bitcoin's price down 10% on Coinbase. So you got to just put that into perspective, okay, guys? I just want to just remind you guys, this is something to worry about. Now, we did see a lot of the whales last year actually were supporting the markets. They were actually buying during the lows, but it's still something to keep in mind. Now, echoing on that, I wanted to talk about what happened with the DX exchange, guys. So, Yeah, we got to get into some other news today, okay? But so it turns out that this new DX Exchange website was collecting sensitive financial and legal information from its users in order to provide trading services. According to Ars Technica, a prospective trader created a dummy account to check whether the DX Exchange platform was secure. So here's what happened. The trader noted that when he sent DX a trading request from his browser, the message included an extremely long string of characters called an authentication token. So in this article, we're not talking about crypto tokens. We're talking about tokens like within the authentication, right? So the token is like a secret passphrase the website requires before allowing users to access their account. However, the user revealed that the DX Exchange had been sending responses to the request that included all types of extraneous data. So after carefully examining the data sent by the exchange, he found that the platform had been sharing other users' authenticated tokens and password reset links. He said, I've collected about 100 tokens in the past 30 minutes. If I wanted to criminalize this, it would be super easy. He found that anyone who possesses a user's token will be able to access their account even if the user logs out. An attacker could still access this account by using a site programming interface. So if an attacker is able to gain access to an employee's account using tokens that has administrative privileges, then it could be possible to download entire user databases. So it looks like after the team was informed, they hopped on it immediately. They put this out. They said the bug was immediately identified and suppressed the minute that we received it. Thank you for the feedback. They said it's a soft launch and there's going to be some unexpected, turbulences, but that's good. At least they're acknowledging it. They're not running away. They're not hiding. They said that they had a problem. In fact, they put out this tweet that says we have scheduled for today at 11 a.m. Estonian time zone a maintenance update to improve our platform and bug fixes. And this guy's like, okay, I still don't see a reason to shout though. Sorry. Kind of funny. But yeah, so there you go. Problem fixed. I like to hear that. Now we have this other thing. Crypto researchers have discovered what they claim is a previously unknown vulnerability in digital signatures, which happen to only affect, now this is kind of the funny part about the article, only around $54 worth of Bitcoin out of its roughly circulating 70 billion market cap. I don't know why they just didn't choose to say this in Satoshis, because that price is going to change anyway, but they say there's a very small amount of values affected. The vulnerability is only of relevance in a very extreme case. They said $54 worth of Bitcoin could be exploited, $14 worth of XRP, or 0.00002 ETH. The paper says that the flaws do not appear to be known, or else the funds would have been stolen. They mention the significant amount of computation required, with further consideration being the incredibly small sums involved. Someone with the skill and ability to exploit the addresses probably would have something better to do with their time. So to kind of calm the, situation, since 2016, the Bitcoin client uses deterministic signatures, which are RFC 6979, which completely removes the need for randomness in the process. So, long story short, if you're using one of the popular wallets out there, you don't have much to worry about. So, another problem solved. I like this, guys. We got problems and we got solutions. That's what I'm talking about. Now, here's something with Ethereum. According to data from Ether nodes, it looks like only 1,115 out of roughly 7,883, or 14.6% of the nodes are ready for the Constantinople hard fork. Now, I'm not talking about exchanges. There's nothing that you should worry about. Don't panic if you're holding Ethereum. But this does relate to the nodes, and if these nodes don't upgrade to the latest version, well, they're going to be left behind. So since the old chain is not expected to continue running after the fork occurs, nodes that fail to move across will be rendered useless. So if you're running a node out there, just upgrade. What are you waiting for? Now, speaking about the competitor, we had Tron doing massive this week. Actually, if we go back, even during all this bloodshed, just to have a look at this, okay? If we go here and we go to, now what you do is you actually go to view all right here, and it'll show you the percentages over the course of the week. And you can actually see right here, Tron, even with this the market pullback, you can see Tron is still up 32% in the past 7 days, even with the the recent pullback. So they said that this has a lot to do with some of the news that was breaking out. They recently hired David Labhar, a former member of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. So as the company's first compliance officer, he will also be stepping into the role of Tron's co-general counsel. Also, not to mention that they announced margin trading on OKX available as well. And there was some nice words that came out from ABCC Exchange. They said this is a testament to the good news we have been hearing from the Tron Foundation recently, and they're working to list TRC20 and TRC10 tokens on their exchange as well. Now, talking about some XRP news, we have Banco Santander, since now it is the second crypto again, that its Ripple-powered payments app, OnePayFX, is giving its customers the ability to send cross-border transactions at far faster speeds than its competitors. So, at the Santander International Banking Conference in Madrid, Executive Chairman Ana Botín highlighted the performance of the new mobile payments app, which runs on Ripple's blockchain software solution xCurrent. So it's not xRapid, okay? But you could do FX transfers real time between the UK, continental Europe, and you can actually do Poland, Brazil, and Chile through Santander for the same cost as TransferWise. And this is the reason why we need to really think about what is real reciprocity. The devil is in the details and in the timing. Now, we have a lot of breakthroughs still, guys. Now, QTUM is not a project we bring up quite frequently, not because I have anything against QTUM. I really hadn't heard anything really going on. Well, now they've introduced Bitcoin atomic swaps to their main infrastructure. So if you don't know what atomic swaps are, they're like technology that basically swaps two tokens out with no middlemen whatsoever, okay? You don't need a centralized infrastructure or anything like that. Komodo has been doing them for quite some time, a lot of other guys as well. But the implementation of QTUM to BTC atomic swaps has been achieved with the use of hash time lock contract technology, which is based on the code of open source crypto Decred. So this is interesting. They're actually using some of what Decred has done on their code. So according to QTUM's announcement, they think that this is the most secure way of doing swaps. The team also announced plan to release a zero value UTXO, which will allow users that don't hold QTUM tokens to interact with smart contracts while a third party pays the fee. So there's still a lot of progress going on in the background, guys. Now, one thing I wanted to say kind of before we get on out of here, I wanted to sort of connect Bitcoin once again to the traditional markets, because there's so many people that are like, are we correlated to stocks? Are we not correlated to stocks? Well, probably not, okay? It looks like Bitcoin doesn't tend to really follow any trends. But if you are somebody that does dabble in traditional stocks, I just want to let you know that the Dow Jones Industrial Average is rebounding, but computer trading bots are alerting investors to short everything. Now, don't forget, a lot of the reason that we see these BART patterns in crypto is because we have these trading bots that tend to, come to conclusions and then give signals, and then things happen, and then obviously other people have orders and they get triggered. So anyway, getting a little off topic here. Talking back about these bots on the Dow. Okay, according to quantitative investment firm Alpha Simplex, algorithmic trading bots suggest shorting three major asset classes: stocks, currencies, and commodities. So what does that leave us? Real estate? Anyway, pretty much any way you run the models, you end up netting a short of a lot of asset classes. So you have Catherine Kaminsky, the chief strategist at Alpha Simplex Group. She said that this is the chaos bet, essentially. She says that the last time the trend following computers traded bots reverse positions so dramatically was in 2007 and 2008, and I think we all know the significance of 2008. I mean, it was literally the year that inspired the birth of crypto, of Bitcoin, right? So according to Kaminsky, the algo trading bots have moved from holding long positions in stocks, currencies, and commodities in the third quarter of 2017 to shorting them by 2019. So in other words, the bots are betting that those asset classes will drop, signaling a sell-off. You also had JP Morgan's CEO Jamie Dimon coming in and saying that the media hyped anxiety about an impending global recession is overblown. He insists there's no recession on the horizon. He says that everyone needs to take a chill pill and calm down. The global economy may be in a slowdown, but not in a recession. And he says there's nothing bad around the corner, right? Our good old buddy Jamie Dimon. Well, we also have Bill Mayer saying that, an uncertain stock market crash could be good news, potentially, for Bitcoin investors, because Bitcoin basically has no statistical correlation with stocks or bonds, which makes it an excellent diversifier, according to Miller. Now, I wanted to talk about one more thing before we go, and this is just the fact that I wanted to remind everyone. Yesterday we had Cumberland saying historically their OTC trading desks are relatively balanced between buyers and sellers, and recently they have seen more on the buy side. Well, we now have Michael Morrow, the CEO of Genesis Trading. He says that he's seeing the same reaction to buyers to the new year following last year's rush to sell off crypto assets for tax purposes, okay? So that could be it as well. I mean, you don't really know. I know that statistically, I don't have the article pulled up right now, but there tends to be this like sell-off sort of, right around tax season. So he says that he'll echo Cumberland's sentiments. Year end saw quite a bit of selling for numerous reasons. You have tax selling, liquidation of crypto donations, etc. As the year turned, the selling pressure from such activities has subsided, and we have seen more buy-side interest pick up. So you also have Monica Somerville, Tab Group's director of fintech, claiming that major crypto exchanges have less trade than the OTC markets, which she says is over 3 times more active, arguing that the big deals go to the OTC. We know this. In fact, there is no way that, what we're seeing right now on Bitcoin, this is being done, traded through, over the counter, obviously. Not over the counter, through exchanges. Because over the counter, this wouldn't happen. You wouldn't have these big spikes and these big dips. These are buy orders and sell orders being triggered, okay? So just wanted to point that out, guys, moving forward. But I think we all know what's in store for 2019. There's a reason that we get up, we watch the charts, we listen to the news, we do our own research, and we invest responsibly. And I think it's because we know that 2019 is going to be a massive year for Bitcoin. At least that's what I believe. But don't listen to me. I'm just some crazy dude on the internet making videos, not financial advice. But I'm still very, very hopeful for the future moving forward. Now, I just wanted to remind you guys, I got my official email telling me that my Ledger Nano X has officially been accepted as the Genesis Block Edition. So if you guys want, they are still selling them over here. The Genesis Block Edition commemorates the first 50 Bitcoin that was ever sold. And these are looking to pre-order, and they're going to ship them in March sometime. So if you guys haven't had a chance to order the new Ledger Nano X yet, it's got Bluetooth capabilities. It can hold up to 100 different crypto things. Awesome. So if you guys want, I have a link in the description below. It's an affiliate link. It helps support the channel. Doesn't cost you a thing, but it would mean a lot. Thank you guys. Really, seriously, that being said, everyone that's been liking, subscribing, commenting, you guys rock. What's going to happen with these markets? Not too sure, guys. Like we've been saying, short term could be a bumpy ride. Long term, to the moon, baby. I'm waiting for May. Personally, that's my thing. And I've been accumulating this whole time. I dollar cost averaged a little more again this morning. Now, I'm talking minuscule amounts, guys. I'm not going nuts. I'm not putting my life savings in, but I buy the dips. So anytime Bitcoin takes like a massive dip, I tend to just buy a little bit because no one ever knows where the bottom is, right? But that's what I'm doing. You can hold off. Don't do that. Be responsible, okay? That being said, my name's K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto and peace out.